Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to The Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
True Digital Media Consulting. You're online right now and so are your customers, but marketing has to be a consistent journey. True Digital Media Consulting can help with your online ads, organic growth, and so much more. Contact us today at 832-934-4436 or visit our website at truedigitalmediaconsulting.com.
Looking to advertise? Join The Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Do you desire to belong to a community of unity? Visit KOGpassion.com to learn more about the Unleash Your Dopeness movement.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Docs on the Sphere Network. We're excited to have you back. Thanks for tuning in once again. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and are gearing up for the rest of the holidays, which is kind of a segue into what we'll be talking about today. My name is Dr. Uzo. I've been gone for a couple of weeks, but I'm an anesthesiologist and a pain management physician working in the Texas Medical Center, and I'm accompanied by none other than Dr. Keisha Davis. Keisha, what's up?
Hello. I think this is our first time together.
I think it is too, actually.
First
I think
time.
you're right.
I'm kind of excited. It's
Yeah.
another slow Monday. I kind of had a good Thanksgiving.
Nice.
I had to do a non-meat and a regular
Yeah.
meatitarian and omnivorian type of dinner.
There
What
you
about
go.
you?
I was just talking earlier. I was at the hospital, but I was able to get out and get to some friend's house and do the traditional turkey
good.
dressing kind of deal. But nothing
Good.
too crazy.
That's probably good because you don't have too many leftovers.
That's right.
I'm still
That's right.
trying
I
to
didn't
eat
get
all
mom's
that.
food, but I got as close as I could. So
That's good.
Anyway.
Can't complain. I'm Dr. Davis, your pathologist, your health enthusiast. Please check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, it's Dance Health Fitness LLC, and Instagram, it's KYDMD_health. We've got a good topic today.
yes. So, I mean, we're talking about Thanksgiving. We're talking about getting into the holiday season. I'm sure some of you guys maybe did Black Friday. You started putting up your Christmas decorations, what have
Yeah.
you. So this particular show, we're just going to kind of get into some of the issues with regard to health and wellness and stress and all the things that the holidays actually can tend to bring, even though they're supposed to be a happy time as well. Before we get into that, our hot topic for the day, this was actually, basically about gun violence again, related to the recent shooting in Chicago at, I think,
Oh,
Mercy
yes.
Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And, I brought this up again because I felt like this one was they're all very tragic and sad that people are
Exactly.
getting harmed and losing their lives, actually. I felt like this one was particularly interesting because the NRA kind of like clapped back at doctors and doctors clapped back saying, this is actually our lane. Like, we should be able to speak out and sort of have an opinion on this.
Exactly.
What is your thoughts on both sides, on either side of kind of what the discussion was?
Well, I think there's basically one side on this,
Yeah.
right? Physicians, we have to deal with treating patients, but also preventative health care, which why I'm such a big health enthusiast. But preventative health care is dealing with why the patients are coming in. And if they're shooting, I think that physicians should have a say on to why gun control, what's going on, because they're the ones that have to treat all these victims.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was where there was a lot of attention that came from physicians using their social media platforms to
Yeah.
say, hey, like, I treat these patients, unfortunately, kind of on a regular basis when they come into the operating room or the emergency department and they have these acute illnesses that are really threatening their lives. And for me, that sort of hit a chord because I mean, I can tell you countless stories during residency of people coming into OR 23. That was our trauma OR. And you're literally trying to do everything you can from the anesthesia side, from the surgery side to, prevent these people from, succumbing to their injuries
Right.
that are sustained. So, obviously, I think it's going to continue to be a hot topic. I see people who want to protect their, right to bear arms. I understand that, but I think it's hard to look at all these stories in the news and say that, it's not a big deal or something doesn't need to be done or something doesn't need to change.
Clearly it does. And as
So-
a pathologist, we see it on the
Yeah.
other side.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I remember in residency and fellowship seeing the casualties. So, I mean, I can say probably a large percentage of the people that did succumb was homicide or suicide.
Right.
And guns were a big part of it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big part. We see it a lot. We want to decrease it. And if it has to deal with putting our stamp in it,
Absolutely.
politically, we have to.
Yeah, I think it's
We have
important
to.
to sort of continue that conversation and be vocal about it, even if it's not necessarily the most popular opinion, depending on what side of the fence you stand on.
Exactly.
So now we'll switch gears and get into sort of
A
our
little
topic
bit more
about
upbeat,
a little
right?
bit more upbeat, talking about. I love the holidays.
I do too.
What's your favorite holiday?
I do. This whole thing, Thanksgiving / Christmas
Yeah.
/ New Year.
Yeah, same. If I had to choose one, I would go Christmas for sure. I just love colder weather and hot chocolate
Not
and,
the
and
colder
Christmas
weather.
music. Like I'm the guy who starts playing Christmas music around
Oh, right.
Halloween. Like that's me.
Yep.
So I'm very excited to move into the holiday season. So we're going to be kind of talking about holiday health, safety tips, as we all know that, this can be an issue during the holidays. Specifically, we'll sort of just kind of get in talking about some of the common health issues. One of the things that I found was related to the number of injuries related to actually people just decorating mental health issues.
Decorating.
Believe it or not, yeah, decorating, getting up on ladders, people
Yeah,
maybe
hire
exerting
somebody for
themselves.
that.
I actually just don't decorate because I don't got I don't have a tree or anything. But one day when I do, this is a consideration that I will be thinking about. The other thing that I think will be interesting to touch on a little bit is mental health issues in relation to the holidays and, sort of piggybacking off of how excited I am about the holidays. For me, it's always like a really exciting time because that's time to go home to see my family and to reminisce and to eat good food and just to have like nice, good fellowship. But for some people,
It's opposite.
it's the opposite,
No
right?
family.
It's
Other
stressful
things.
or that brings back bad feelings or what have you. So that's something that's I think really important to think about and be aware of. And then of course, diet.
Yeah.
In trying not to overindulge in all the good food that your moms and grandmas and aunties and uncles and grandfathers are cooking. So we'll get into all those things here shortly. Sort of just talking about and focusing on some of the injury numbers. So a lot of this, basically all this actually came from, who did it come from? Actually, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgery is who I got this from. So and this is an article that they published in 2015. 2015, there are approximately 69,000 visits to doctors' offices and emergency departments due to decorating injuries. 566,000 Americans were injured in ladder injuries, with the high percentage occurring during the holidays. And then luggage injuries.
Now, what is the luggage injury?
Yeah, so I
Probably
thought this was
lifting
interesting.
heavy,
That's
maybe
what it was.
back
So
injury.
people, because obviously the holiday time brings a lot of travel, whether it's you're on a road trip or you're flying to see family. Luggage injury. So 84,000 people were seen in offices and emergency departments due to luggage-related issues.
Wow.
So they again, this was an article from 2015 and a couple of key points that they brought up in terms of how do you prevent these things from happening, right? Because again, the holidays are supposed to be a fun and exciting time, not a time where you have to worry about hurting yourself or being injured. So for those of you who are not like me and you decorate, or you're not like Dr. Davis and you don't pay somebody to decorate and you're decorating on your own, their first thing and their first kind of bullet point was to master the ladder. So they say before you use a ladder for any task, just kind of do an inspection of it. Make sure that, the bolts and screws are all tight the way they need to be. And obviously not to use a device or a ladder that's damaged. And then also just make sure you have somebody around and available to spot you and to be around you should you become unsteady, if you're on an uneven ground or you lose your footing or anything like that. kind of getting into that, our funny statistic about the luggage injuries, their advice for that was to kind of somewhat intuitive, but to pack smart. So start by packing lightly, and try to avoid, basically putting your whole wardrobe in a suitcase for your little weekend or week-long trip for the holidays. I know you got to have all the outfits for all the houses you're going to and all the events, but keep in mind that, especially if you haven't, been working out or making your New Year's resolution ready for the new year, that may lend itself to an injury. We're going to take a second. We'll continue to get right into that, but we got to shout out our sponsors as always. Thank you to everybody who is sponsoring us and allowing us to bring you this content. This particular portion of the show is sponsored by True Digital. You are online right now, and so are your customers. The question is, how do you actively reach them? Marketing has to be a consistent journey, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. True Digital Media Consulting can help with website development, online ads, your business reputation, and organic growth on search engines. Give us a call today to discuss a customized strategy for your business at 832-934-4436 or send us an email to info@truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Mention the Sphere to receive a free 30-minute strategy consultation.
All right.
We
have a shout out from Michael Reyes.
What's up,
Hello,
Michael?
Michael. If you have any questions, any comments on what we're talking about, please feel free to comment and chime in.
Yes. Those of you who are tuning in on Facebook Live, really appreciate you. Send us a question. Tell us what your favorite holiday is. Tell us what your favorite dish is, something like that. Let us know because we want to interact with you more and, again, continue to bring you guys the content that you're looking for.
I will say with the luggage injuries,
yeah,
my children, when we go to the airport, they're right up on my heel.
Yeah.
And I get some serious leg injuries from that.
I bet.
They're not paying attention. A lot of people in the airport, they're just dinging around, throwing around those injuries.
That's right. Yep.
Probably a little bystander.
Yeah. You gotta, especially when the airports and all that is busy, you gotta kind of keep your eyes peeled. Let's go ahead. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Let's talk about like healthy eating, diet, and exercise. I'm that person who makes
Eats
that
really
New Year's
good, right?
Oh, hell no. I could do better. I have room to improve. Let me say that.
But you did really good. I will have to say, you guys have to check the episode of the Health and Wellness Outside.
Oh, I about died. Thank God.
You guys killed it.
That was a very, very good workout, and I enjoyed it.
It's a camaraderie, right?
Yeah.
Having the camaraderie in each other, rooting each other on, did really good.
So sort of as a segue into that, what is your, going into the holidays, this stretch from Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, you got all these holiday parties to go to at work or whatever. What is your approach to how you continue to eat healthy and avoid indulging when there's a lot of temptation around?
There is. So always go to an event. Don't go hungry. I say that. Eat your well-balanced meal before you go. And then say, okay, I'm going to have a little bit of the crackers, a little bit of the cheese. But for me, since I don't do dairy, it's easier because there's not many options for me. Or I bring a healthy option for everybody, like hummus and vegetables or something like that.
Yeah.
But enjoy. Say I'm going to have that piece of cake, but I'm going to work out this morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat a healthy lunch and then have it.
Yeah.
And that glass of eggnog or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's the key is that you don't want to, like, at least in my mind, I don't want to like deprive myself.
See, and I don't. That's what people think. I never, even when I'm trying to train for something, I never deprive myself.
Yeah.
I always have a glass of wine, something, but it's in moderation. And I'm working out. That type of workout, it really keeps your metabolism going.
Yeah, I was sore for a few days after that. I'm sad to admit that. But yeah, so I think it's important to keep in mind that, again, the holidays, hopefully for most of us, are a positive and a happy time to enjoy family, to enjoy, dishes that we don't always get to enjoy throughout the rest of the year. So yeah, it's not necessarily a time to deprive yourself and say you absolutely under no circumstances can have that.
But you have to be careful though, also, because eating other people's dishes.
Yeah.
Not everybody may use the same type of precautions when they're preparing them.
Sure.
And so you probably also see a lot of infections, gastroenteritis.
Yeah, that's
during this time.
Yeah. It's funny that the CDC actually has a nice, it's very brief and sort of, concise little basically, fact sheet on things you can do to stay healthy and stay safe during the holidays. And one of the things that they mention is handling and preparing your food safely. And basically, I'll just read what they said here. Say, as you prepare your holiday meals, keep you and your family safe from food-related illnesses. Wash your hands and surfaces often. Avoid cross-contamination by keeping raw meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, including their juices, away from ready-to-eat foods and eating surfaces. Cook foods to the proper temperatures. Refrigerate promptly. Do not leave perishable foods out for more than 2 hours.
Right. So at those long days, if you see something that's not on ice or some deviled eggs, I wouldn't be eating them after 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. That's very good advice, because I think the holidays too are another time where there's just more
Yeah.
stomach
Eggnog
bugs
too.
and stuff going around.
I know they say that alcohol
I've
kills
never
the raw
been a big
eggs,
eggnog person.
but
I've never been
it's
big.
good in small doses.
Yeah.
Small doses.
But anyway, so enjoy cautiously. Again, keep
Yes.
an eye on how long things have been out, and in that way you can all stay safe.
We got some more healthy tips, but I think Facebook Live is going to have to tune in for that.
Yes. Shout out to you guys who are tuning in on Facebook Live. We're sorry we're going to have to cut you off now. If you want to see the rest of the episode, please make sure you tune in, subscribe, all those things that you guys have been doing. So Facebook Live, we ask that you subscribe to our show on all the major platforms, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Please review the show on iTunes with constructive feedback. That's really the only way that we can understand and know what you guys are looking for, how we can improve. And then share this Facebook Live post and the entire show with your family and friends. And then if you're so inclined, please donate to our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can donate at www.thesphere.tv/donate. Thanks you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
We hope to see you on the flip side, I guess, here.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So now sort of getting into the not so fun part of the holidays is the sort of mental health and so I guess overall just wellness and stress related issues that come around the holidays. So a lot of this little report that I got was from, I believe, the American Psychological Association, I believe, and it's a bit dated, 2006. But I imagine that most of these numbers and the themes anyways still hold true today. So most of the stress-related issues were related to family, like we sort of alluded to, finances, and then just sort of the overall festivities, the hustle and bustle that is, around getting people to and from one area, decorating, getting together for an event. So some of the numbers, 38% of people who were surveyed endorsed increased stress during the holiday season. Interestingly, there was a difference in that level of stress based on one's income level. So 53% of people in the low to middle income range, which they define as 30 to 50,000, annually reported increased stress, as opposed to only 31% of people with low income and 40% of people with an income greater than 50,000. So those who were kind of in that middle bundle tended to have more stress.
Do you think it was the obligation to feel you have to buy gifts?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing that they mentioned a lot, is that because of the I guess desire and the expectation to entertain and to buy gifts and to keep up with the Joneses, if you will, that brings a lot of stress. So that'll bring stress at work if you're trying to pick up extra shifts at work to make some extra cash, so you're not having to max out credit cards or anything to provide a holiday and gifts and things like that for your family. So that's certainly the pressure associated with trying to provide and have gifts was a big factor in that. And then, so that's sort of, a nice segue into the next sort of set of statistics, 67% of people reported time as a stressor. So time constraints in getting shopping done and getting people from one place to the other as they needed to be, getting parties arranged and whatever. 62% of people reported money as a stressor. So again, the stress associated with trying to make the holiday season, the commercial aspect of it. And then 53% of people, just the actual commercialization of the holidays, the cards, the trees, the Christmas lights, all that stuff they reported as a stressor. And then interestingly, and I sort of just was thinking about this just in relation to
the gender difference.
So I need to pull it up, but basically, long story short, in this study as well, women were more likely to have increased stress levels, or at least express that compared to
You
men.
said perceive.
Perceive isn't the right word. I mean, it's there. Like there was
Right.
increased stress, and it was related to, basically the way they put it was that there was increased stress among women because of the increased responsibilities of kids are out of school, or in-laws are coming, or
I
you
see.
gotta provide, cook and clean and what have you.
I would say as a physician,
Yeah.
it's that, but it's also the busiest time because everyone's trying to get into
Into
the
the
doctor
doctor.
before the end of the season.
Absolutely.
So right around December, 12th, all the way up to the new year,
Uh-huh.
I get 3 times as many biopsies.
Uh-huh.
There's an increased stress to get all this work done. And so I can't really enjoy the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like I have too many cases to sign out. When I get home, I'm ready
Right.
to go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was definitely the case. I remember in residency, it was like a well-known thing that you try to not be at the main OR in December
Exactly.
because everybody's coming in, getting their elective procedures. So the likelihood that you are going to be staying later and getting up
very-
earlier was much higher in the winter months when people were off of work and had time to do so.
Much busier.
Yeah.
So this portion of the show is sponsored by the Spear, everyone. If you're starting a business, if you're looking for a place to advertise, do you need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product, placement, and advertising handled right here at the Spear. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the U.S. as well as modern countries across the globe. So our enriched content, inspiring dialogue, coupled with the strategic ad is surely to hit the mark every time. Just call us at 832-772-7789 or send an email to advertise@thespear TV.
Yes. Love it.
Like
Love
those
the
little sound effects.
Shout out to the
Just wakes me
Sphere
up.
for sponsoring that portion of the show. So, knowing that there are increased stresses, sort of being able to identify what some of those stressors are, that sort of begs the question, okay, so what do you do? What are people supposed to do then to minimize the stress associated with the holiday season? And the Canadian Mental Health Association put together this very, succinct but nice little 8 tips for mental wellness during the holidays. Their number one thing was to budget. Again, because finances
good,
were
yeah.
such a big thing and a big source of stress for people. So plan your budget in advance of the holiday season. Only spend cash or debit. And they also said host a Secret Santa, which is always tends to be a little fun thing too, to buy one gift for your group of friends or family. Their number 2 thing was family. As we mentioned again, you sort of think that family is a source of excitement for during the holidays, but for some people that may not always be the case.
Along.
Yeah, so that's literally what they said. So not everyone in a family gets along, and sometimes there are personality conflicts. So what can you do?
Stay for a couple of hours instead of a whole day.
Yeah. Be realistic about what you cannot do, set boundaries, stay one night, basically trying to minimize those sort of triggers, if you will, that may make the interactions difficult or challenging. And then number 3, which we kind of talked about in terms of
Food, yeah.
of food and drink, is just, really try to limit yourself in terms of overindulging. So allow yourself opportunities to be active. Again, the holiday season isn't necessarily an excuse to sit on your couch and watch movies. And again, sort of like we said, do things in moderation. So be general with yourself and understand that your goal is to limit consumption or inactivity, not to eliminate it entirely. Like you're not
Exactly.
going to not be able to enjoy some of those things also much like you shouldn't just not exercise because it's a holiday season. Number 4, taking on too much will kind of keep it moving. Number 5, loneliness and isolation. So this was another thing too that the holiday season in that study from the American Psychological Association, this is actually a time where people feel really lonely
I can
and
see that.
isolated, right? Like if you either don't have family or you're away from your family
Exactly.
and you're not able to get to family. realizing that there are ways to sort of still feel connected and not feel like you're alone. And then on the flip side of that, for me, for instance, having worked this Thanksgiving, I was very fortunate to have friends who are like, hey, you should come over to our house
that's nice.
and do Thanksgiving. So I didn't feel like I was just working and going home to be by myself and not really have somebody to share the holiday with. So that for me helps me keep in mind that if I know somebody that's in that situation in the future, that I can hopefully
include them.
Exactly. Inclusive and keep them from feeling isolated.
And maybe also too, is there this need to feel, okay, I need to get all this done before the end of the year. Not even resolutions, but going to the doctor. And that's stressful. Like, okay, I need to get all these appointments done before the end of the year. So maybe even as far as budget what you need to get done, your elective procedures earlier
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because then you're
That's
waiting,
a really good
and
point.
sometimes
It's
the
not like
doctors
that you're just budgeting money.
Yeah.
It's your time too,
budget your
right?
time.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to spend the holidays at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Or
That's
getting
really,
those
really good.
important procedures. So.
That's really good. And that kind of segues kind of into their last thing. Number 8 was year-end reflection. As the year comes to a close, many of us reflect on what has changed or stayed the same. Take stock of things that are going well or that you have done well. Give yourself credit. Look to the future with optimism. And they actually say here, don't set New Year's resolutions as they put unnecessary pressure on you. If you want to make a resolution to change something, you can start today.
You can start today, any day of the week in the summertime.
Really, really good. Are you a New Year's resolutioner? Or
no, I'm not.
Yeah.
All year round.
Yeah.
I believe in moderation in anything. So if you're keeping it going, you'll see the success slower, but it'll be long lasting.
Yeah.
So making that goal at a time when your mind's not ready to make it, it's not going to last.
That's very true. That's very, very true. I think that's kind of it. Kind of brief, kind of quick. We will make sure that we shout out our third sponsor, of course.
Yes.
We cannot forget them before
This
we go.
one. I still need to get one of these shirts.
I know.
But
KOG and Company.
I know. It sounds too cool. This portion of the show is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Well, Unleash Your Dopeness is a people empowerment movement built to encourage the masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passions in life. Join thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. So shop this dope gear at KOGpassion.com. That is KOGpassion.com, and use the coupon code DOPE for 10% off your Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. And hurry up and act now. Sizes are selling out fast.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Shout out to KOG. Any final parting thoughts for the people
Yes.
out there?
One more thing about the fitness
Yeah.
tips.
Yeah, please.
When it's cold outside, I'm not a cold person, so find a way to do something inside.
Okay.
Even with the family. Like we turn on the music, get a dance party going, a
Nice.
dance off, do an inside workout, do yoga, make your garage into a little area where you can have your weights.
Nice.
Find those places so you don't make excuses, okay, I can't get out because it's cold.
Right.
But do it at home.
Yeah. Find a way to improvise and get it done. I like that.
Improvise.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in again. We hope that you had a great Thanksgiving. We know there's a couple of weeks away from Christmas. Hopefully this is a positive and great time for you. If it's not, please reach out to those around you and let them know. And if you are around somebody that maybe you are wondering if things are going on, reach out to people because you just never know what's going on, especially this time of year. As always, we'll see you next week. Again, give us feedback on how we can make this better for you guys. And we hope that you guys have a wonderful week. Take care.
Enjoy. Take care.